Okay, looks like everything is a go. Hello, everybody. This is the Fakeologist Show. We're back. It's the new year. It's January 1st, 2023. And it's Sunday night. We haven't done a show since December 21st, where we came back for a bit because December is a busy month for me. So we're going to see how January 2023 pans out, whether I can do a show every day. I'm not going to promise it. But once more, thanks to all the donors that donate to the show. But we're still doing content on the blog, fakeologist.com/blog. We still do audio chats. I still upload to FakeoTube. All these things are easier to do because I can just do a couple minutes here and there. And all these things are worthy of your support. But the daily, nightly show, it's going to be a little more difficult. I have I'm working a little later, about an hour later every night, and that just really whacks my schedule right to hell. Now let me start up the FakeoTube chat here. So we are streaming live on FakeoTube. That's our main site, but we are also on YouTube. I will cut the show off on YouTube in a minute, just in case we start talking about things that YouTube doesn't like. But the whole point of broadcasting for a few minutes on YouTube is just to remind people that you can go to some of the other sites that I stream to, mainly FakeoTube, because that's my website. I'm paying for that. You guys are helping pay for that. It costs big bucks, but it's worth it because I can say whatever the heck I want and it won't be deleted in a month, 2 months, 3 months time. So make sure you go to fakeotube.com. I see that. Let's see. Can we see how many people are watching live on FakeoTube right now? Looks like we have 2 people, which is fine because now we have been doing the show too regularly. But if you do sign up to FakeoTube, just give your email. You will get email alerts when the show comes on, which YouTube doesn't do anymore. So make sure you sign up to FakeoTube. And now we have probably one of the listenership's favorite guests on. And this is still one of my favorite topics because it won't go away. And that is the transvestigation idea, the androgyny, the Kabbalah, the biblical references, all that kind of stuff, all wrapped into one researcher named Mr. E or Apocalypse Watchman. So we have Mr. E on tonight. Hello, how are you there, Mr. E?
Hey, doing pretty good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. You're the first guest of the year. I don't really have too many regular guests anymore. I was on a pretty good streak for a while, but you are a recurring guest, always a favorite, and we always have great conversations because you're extremely awake and we're about the same age. The only difference is you're on one side of the world, I'm on the other. I'm still in the belly of the beast, but maybe you are too. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely am for sure. I don't know if they start a lot of stuff here, but it sticks around a lot longer. It seems like, and the acceptance rate of the narratives are quite high. People are very obedient. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah. So you're in Thailand, and it's funny because one of my past researchers, who I don't know if he's disowned me, but I used to talk to this guy a lot named Jan Erik. He was from Norway, and he sent me an email with his Google location, and he's in Thailand. And I know
wow.
I can't tell you where exactly because it was a funny long word. So I can't give you the words exactly. I didn't see what major city I might know he's near, but I just thought that was funny.
Well,
He doesn't send it.
there's a lot of Norwegians here, actually. I think it's, they get out of the cold weather, basically. A lot of Europeans come here, especially Scandinavians.
Yeah, I saw a Telegram channel with Hannah Maria, who's from Finland, which I guess is a Scandinavian/Russian type country. And what was it? She was showing a picture of the sunset at 2:45 in the afternoon. quarter to 3. Goodbye sunlight.
Oh, from, Finland. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's dark and cold.
Whoa.
Yeah, that would be pretty depressing.
I think
Um,
they get about 6 hours of sunlight on the winter
oh,
solstice. So
wow. Yeah.
oh, that would be hard to take. Canada's I'm on the 49th no, I'm on the 45th parallel.
Yeah.
You know that most
Yeah.
where I live is south of Minnesota, where I
Exactly,
think
yeah.
you're
So I used to live, northern Minnesota as well, so
mm.
it's, I used to see the northern lights all the time, which is pretty cool in the summer.
They a
So
green or some green flash or
oh,
what is
yeah, d well,
yeah.
it's like, it's hard to describe. It's
Mm.
very surreal. It lasts a long time for hours. It's just this green light, and it feels like you're underwater or something. It's very weird. It's like, I don't know if we really know what those are, you know? I mean, there's some kind of scientific explanation, but you can't really trust everything those guys say, you know? So it's,
Yeah, I don't know either. I lived in Winnipeg for a while, and they always that's where I
ah,
first learned of them. I don't know
yeah,
if I ever really saw them. I know I see pictures of them now, but I don't remember witnessing
like in
them.
August. Yeah,
Mm,
in August. I used to live on a lake in northern Minnesota. You can see the stars really well.
mhm.
Amazing how many stars are up there, and, northern lights and all
Do
that
you think
stuff.
you
It's
could
pretty
ever go
cool.
back to a cold climate? Because 'Cause isn't Thailand warm all year round?
It's hot all year round, yeah. Although now
It's
it's a
hot.
little cool. It's a little cool now, but, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could try it out, I suppose, but it would be tough. I have arthritis and stuff, so it's that kinda makes it worse. Yeah,
Ah,
so,
interesting.
yeah, really, really bad in my knee, so it's hard to walk, and walking in icy sidewalks would be kinda sketchy. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
been a
know. I
while.
almost fell a couple times in the last week. Just, I walk with, always walk with someone and hold their arm because when one person starts sliding, you need someone to
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
man,
you guys
the
just had
ice
this huge snowstorm, right?
well, it was
Were you in
more of
that?
a I was yeah, it was a cross between it was really warm, and then we had a flash freeze, which is super dangerous because everything wet just
Oh,
turns
yeah,
to
I remember
ice,
those. Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
was big, and then it started, blowing snow. We had, I would say we had the most continuous high winds that I can remember.
Wow.
For 5
Ah,
days, the wind is blowing from the west, usually at about, I would say 30 to 60 miles per hour. It was ridiculous.
wow. Did you, I mean, I wonder if it's a HARP kinda thing, controlled, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
you
not
I can
really
just
into that.
wonder, I can't prove it or anything.
I know, I always thought that too at the beginning, but I just don't think man is that powerful. I don't think that we are as I
Well, I
think
don't know,
we
I mean, they
yeah,
all they have to do is heat up the, ions or whatever it is,
yeah.
ionosphere, heat up the elements, and, it's just heat, you know, and that causes wind and air pressure and temperature changes, and, who knows? I
No,
mean,
I
you
I
think they're
agree.
working on it. If they can't do it now, they want to do it, I'm sure, because that
Yeah,
causes
this
chaos, anything to cause chaos, and then, like, in Buffalo, they actually issued it was, like, illegal to go out and drive. I've never seen that before, like a no driving mandate or something.
I think it
I've never seen
happens
that.
now and then. Buffalo is at the lee end of the lake, and I explained this on the last audio chat. What
Uh-huh.
happens in it with when there's a predominantly western wind and all our weather most of our weather systems are west to east. So when there's a really strong wind like there was now, and the lake isn't frozen over, the cold air grabs the warm water. Obviously, the water is above freezing, and it just turns it into a snow machine. And
Ah,
anyone that knows what a
yeah,
snow machine is on a artificial
yeah,
snow, it just take water and blow it into below freezing, and it just turns to moisture snow,
mhm.
so
So Buffalo's
that's
right in the right place for that. They're right in
absolutely.
the line of fire.
And on the lee end of Lake Ontario, where I live, is northern upstate New York. It's not, Canada, and I think there's a place called Watertown, and there are
Mm.
not very many people there, but they get probably just as much snow as Buffalo, but because no one really lives there, there's no television stations based in Watertown, they don't get coverage. But believe
Uh,
me, they do get pounded with snow,
huh.
just like Buffalo, but there
Yeah,
just aren't people driving around, um, like in a city like Buffalo, and
yeah.
Buffalo's a major border crossing, so all the Toronto trucks that go to the East Coast of the United States mainly go through Buffalo or
Mm.
there's 3 crossings over the Niagara River.
So what did you have to stop, driving? Or did you,
Well, I didn't
go
drive
the next morning?
Saturday because the truck I meet didn't go, so then I didn't have to go, which I was really grateful. Of course, he never
Yeah.
called me the night before and said he wasn't going, so I was ready to go go. The jerk, but,
Yeah.
that's in the age of communications, people don't talk to each other, it's really crazy. There's
Yeah,
10,000 ways to talk to people, and,
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah. Wow.
I'll bring up a map of, just so people I think you can see the screen, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it.
So here is Lake
Wow.
Ontario. You can see the lee end of Lake Ontario is there's nothing here. There's Syracuse, which is below the lake, so it doesn't really get it. But this area here called Watertown, these are little towns. So there's nobody really here.
Uh,
So these people get smashed with snow. And then
yeah.
the lee end of Lake Erie, you can see this, is Buffalo. So the
Huh.
wind comes flying down the lake here. This is the shallowest lake. And this whole area here just gets smashed. This is where you saw the great pictures of the ice.
Mm,
So most of Buffalo people come across the border to vacation on this little stretch here
mm,
of Lake Erie. This is called Crystal Beach because it's so close, obviously. So it's right
mm.
there. So they come into Canada and they have lakefront places here. But
Oh,
it's
wow.
funny because the wind was so intense that it turned Lake Erie into a giant bathtub. You know, and I don't
Mm.
know if you were a kid when you used to have if you had a bath, but you used to rock the water in the bathtub, you know, you
Oh, yeah, like little, tsunamis or something or,
Yeah,
wave
I think
machine.
it's called the Siesh or something like that, where the wind was so
Yeah,
intense, it was
I've
blowing all
seen
the
that.
water from the
Yeah.
west end of the lake. So all these areas here, Port Clinton and Ohio, the docks all went dry. So 'cause
Oh,
all the
yeah, yeah,
water
yeah.
was being pushed
Wow.
this way, but it was actually rocking back and forth. And if you can imagine this much water rocking back and forth, because
Yeah.
the wind would be intense, and then it would let off, so the water would run back. So
Wow.
I think the water level in the Buffalo end was maybe an extra 10 feet, where it was 10 feet dry over here on the west end. It was funny. It was
Huh.
called a sesh or Siesh or something. I never heard of it, but anyway, that's enough weather talk.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
But
just another element of chaos to add into the mix.
I don't think
Yeah.
I think the weather we have bad weather in the winter. We have bad weather in the summer. I
Yeah,
don't think it's
well, it
any
used to
worse.
be bad. When I was growing up in Minnesota, it was always, really bad in the winter. Then it kinda wasn't so bad, and now it's a little bit bad again, I guess.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
just don't buy into it that we're doing anything, I just the world is so big. I
Yeah.
just don't know how they could possibly to do that kinda stuff, but who knows?
Yeah, well, if it's like a terrarium, if it's
Mm,
enclosed and flat, and then
mhm,
everything's kind of contained, and then you just move around the wind a little bit, but it would be hard to pinpoint it. It would be hard to, they could probably adjust the temperature and the wind and do something, but then it would be hard to target a specific thing, you know what I mean? Like,
mhm.
"Oh, let's, cause a snowstorm in Buffalo." It might be difficult to manage it exactly, but, anyway, I just keep an open mind on those things. Yeah, I don't know if it's real. I mean, they do have the HAARP thing in Alaska, and I think there's other places around the world, but they say they're just measuring and monitoring things.
It doesn't get a lot of
Who knows?
talk even in the conspiracy crowd anymore. I was
Really?
big on it before because we all want an explanation, but
I
I
saw
just
because I saw the Jesse Ventura show like 10 or 15 years
yeah,
ago.
I
He
watched
did a
that
show on
too.
that. Yeah, that's probably where I got the idea.
Yeah, yeah,
Former
I just don't
My
think we're
former
that I
governor.
don't think man is that powerful. I believe in cloud seeding. I know they try and do weather manipulation. I'm not gonna discount that, but because they said the low that created this massive weather system was way over here in Quebec, and Quebec is the size of the entire. I mean, Quebec is such a massive province where there's
Yeah.
almost no one there. But they said the low is here, so this whole area was in a giant low. So that
Huh.
means the weather goes counterclockwise, and it just sat there for a week. So the wind just kept churning from west to east in this big circle here.
Huh.
So anyway, I'm just not big on it. So how you doing this year? What you got, any predictions? Any you have any more?
More chaos. I'll just
Yeah.
simplify it. More chaos. If anything, they're good at causing chaos. And I kind of wonder sometimes, like, do they even really have an agenda? Or is it just to cause chaos? And they kind of inch along with their agendas, but they never quite fully realize their agendas. But it certainly causes a lot of chaos. They're like chaos demons or something. Remember 2020? You just saw the word chaos like every day, all the time in the news. And I think
Mhm.
2020, 2021, the George Floyd thing and all this stuff. And Elon Musk had the Chaos Dragon fake spaceship. And sometimes I think they're just agents of chaos more than anything. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm just looking now at the word chaos in the news headlines. I use presearch.com, not Google.
Oh yeah.
And
You could probably get a chart that says, because Google has those charts, right?
oh yeah,
They're
word
I think
usage.
I'll have to look that up. I haven't done that. Yeah.
No, I
Word
know. I've seen people do that.
I bet it goes up really high in 2020, and then it's probably still around, but it's, I think 2020 was the most I've ever seen it.
Would that be Google Trends? Let's type in chaos. Google Trends over time. Okay.
What's the year? What's the timeline there? Let's see.
Let's go past
It's like 5
5 years.
years. Yeah.
Oh, chaos has been pretty consistent.
Lots of chaos, but it kinda goes, what's the high one there on the right?
Well, let's go
Oh, yeah.
2004. So it's actually gone down in March. What month is this? April 2005. Chaos was off the charts.
Why? What was going on then?
I don't know.
Huh,
That was a big time. And
interesting.
is that in Can? Oh, that's in Canada. Let's go worldwide. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it was still
That's
worldwide.
funny.
It was
I
off the
wonder what was
chart.
going on there. It
I
looks
don't
like they had
remember.
like a week-long, bout of chaos or something
So it's actually declined. It's on the
over the
decline.
years.
You're
Ah.
just noticing it more,
Well,
but
if you look at 20, there's a little spike there. If you do like a 3-year or 5-year chart,
mhm.
do a 5-year chart. I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
Past, 5 years, go to that one there. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
look at that. Okay, 2021, it peaks up there. That's interesting. January,
Yeah. Uh,
early 2021. I guess that was just the COVID stuff.
mhm. It was the
Huh.
year anniversary of COVID's. Mhm.
Well, there's lots of chaos consistently.
Well, now it's airlines, Philippines travel chaos, Southwest airline chaos. Sunwing is, Canadian
Oh,
Airlines
yeah. I
chaos.
used to fly I used to like,
Me
Southwest.
too.
It's just like a taxi. You just go there and it's like, "Oh, I'll take the next flight out," You don't really have normal reservations or
It
seat
was
numbers
great.
or anything.
The No
Yeah.
Agenda show says Southwest is gonna go under. It's gonna be either go under or be bought out.
Well, it was
That's the
like the most
prediction.
profitable airline before, like 10 years ago or 5 years ago even. It was the most profitable, successful airline. Like, all the other airlines always lose money.
Yeah.
Those guys were like, they had a great business model. So I wonder what the hell's going on. If they're gonna go out of business, that's crazy. Like, it shouldn't happen, right? It's artificially created. Something weird going on. They do
Here's a
weird stuff in the corporate world, these
Here's a
weird
headline with,
things.
here's the headline you'd like, "Apocalypse Now." You're the apocalypse watchman. Canadians turn to
Uh,
cash as hedge against chaos.
there you go. It's a hedge against chaos.
Exactly. That's another BS story, but, yeah, Southwest might go on. I mean, there's so many reasons. I think you are aware of Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. And one of
Yeah.
the things they want to stop pleasure travel on airlines. That's part of their goal to worship Gaia. They don't
Yeah.
want people burning fuel, flying around, seeing the world. They just that's it. So they have to
Yeah.
how are you gonna stop people flying? That's the main thing. Well, I
Make
think
it
if you make it
yeah.
a huge pain in the butt
Yeah,
where you
that's what they're
can't
doing. They've started
yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah. So I
And,
think
well,
that's
Southwest is a lot of business I used to travel that for business,
okay.
um, all the time. Yeah, but, back when I lived in the US, but, yeah, I mean, yeah, they either make it really expensive or,
Mhm,
yeah, they've been canceling flights for, like, the last 3 years, really, and they closed all the borders. So, yeah, I mean, that's what I thought in 2020 when they closed all the borders. I was like, "Okay, no one's gonna travel anymore." And they kinda opened them up a bit now, but half the flights are consistently canceled all the time, you
well,
know?
that's because 'cause they're
And,
injecting the pilots just like anybody else,
yeah, yeah,
and if they you have to have a perfect medical record to fly, to be a pilot. So if you have one little thing wrong with you, you lose your ability to fly.
that's
So
a
if they get
great,
yeah.
industry to look at, to try
Mhm,
to get that data, how
mhm,
many pilots are identified as being too sick to fly now
mhm,
versus before.
yeah.
That would be a really good,
I think
get a
it's
chart
I
on
think
that.
it's I think it's probably the same percentage as everybody else. If you think that maybe
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
let me turn off the
mostly,
YouTube. I gotta turn off YouTube because 'cause let's talk. We're gonna talk COVID, and we're gonna talk
uh-oh,
vaccine now, so
uh-oh,
we gotta say goodbye to YouTube. Goodbye,
uh-oh.
YouTube. Come to fakotube.com and look up FAK658 with Mr. E. So we have to shut